Hey there, guys. So we're just with Nessie now. I figured I'd come live middle of the day, see who's about, see if anyone wants to chat. We'll get a hideout so that she'll come out. There we go. If I can get that hideout. There we go. There she is, looking as beautiful as ever. We're just going to have a chat, see who's around, see what topics we cover. It's just a spontaneous, spur of the moment live stream. No breeding plans for this girl. She's perfectly capable of going into a breeding plan, by far. She's a 9-year-old normal raw python. She's absolutely stupidly tame. I've never met a snake this tame in my life. This isn't one of mine. This belongs to my partner. Obviously, I'm around hers at the minute. I needed to do something. I got a bit bored watching Jeremy Kyle, so I thought, why not? Plus, there's other people out there doing these sorts of lives, so I figured I may as well. Let me know if you can hear me okay, because I am talking on the microphone because the camera is in the enclosure with the snake. Oh, just cracking open a drink, bear with me. So, we just figured I'd come live middle of the day. This is Nessie anyway. She's a normal raw python. Absolutely stunning, stupidly tame. I've never met an animal so tame in my life. Oh yeah, MC. Mac, are you going to the Halifax show on the weekend? I wouldn't mind catching up with you, mate. That's all. Are you going up there, JP? Actually, JP, what is your name? Stick it in the comments because I'm dead curious onto what that name actually is. I know that many people called JP now. It's unreal. With those people coming in anyway, we just sort of figured we'd go live. Jeremy Kyle finished on the telly, so why not? Going up to Halifax, the show. I know you're going up, but are you going up the day before or are you going up on the day? If I told you, I'd have to kill you. Do you know what, mate? The way things are going, why not? Here comes Nessie anyway. She's coming out. I just took her hide away so that she'd come out and explore a little bit. I don't normally do that. But she's got some beautiful patterns, and I think she can see me. What time are you planning on getting up there, JP? I think it opens at 11 anyway. I might be getting early access, but I'm not too sure yet. And what are you planning on picking up when you're up there as well? I would love to go for more mantids, but I've just recorded a rehousing video, which will be out in a few days. And for me, bigger millipedes, me chocolate millipedes, and me big black ones. I think they're called Aegilius or Gigius, or I don't know. If anyone knows the name of the one I'm on about, stick it in the live chat so that I can get it right. Because I keep calling it Aegilius. I know that's not his name, but that's the only name I've got for it. Nessie's getting a bit more brave. She's coming out for a little look around now. She's a week out of shed. She's due a feed. I'll find out your name when we're at the show, mate. Keep it off the live. I've got a couple of gifts already, or getting prepared for packaging up for you. Don't you worry about that. There's nothing extravagant. I can tell you that. It's nothing big and massive. I've just got a couple of gifts to give away at the show to any subscribers that come up to me. Simply because it's a little thank you for subscribing. I'm nearly at I think I'm at 724 subscribers at the minute, and it's just a massive thanks for everybody. You are not going to be getting a lizard. All my lizards are on programs at the minute. They've all got plans for the future, shall we say. Gandalf, I love that name. Absolutely love that name. Hiya, mate. How's it going? We're currently talking about the Northern Exotics, the Northern Invert Show in Halifax on the 24th of March. Will you be going, Gandalf? That seems so weird to say. And Nessie's coming for a little explore. She's like, oh, there's a camera in the enclosure. There's actually a phone in the enclosure because I'm using my phone on this one. Here she comes, dead close to the camera. Luckily, she can't see herself, so she won't get no defensive or anything like that. Oh, come on, Mac. Why aren't you going to the show? If it's a lift, mate, give me a holler after this. I'll give you a holler? What? Apparently, I'm ghetto now. Give me a message after this stream. If it's just a lift you're on about, I might be able to help you out. It's Gandalf's first show, the invert show. It's an absolute. Here's one for you then. There's a few of us in the stream now, and a few of us have been to a few shows. Anyone got any tips for Gandalf for his first show? My biggest tip. Hey, oh, there's Nessie in the camera, right in the front. My biggest tip to anybody who's going for their first show: take a budget and leave your bank card at home, or leave your bank card with somebody safe. Because I like to take my bank card just in case of an emergency, because I'm normally driving hundreds of miles to various shows. So my car's not massively reliable. It's always good to have the card as a backup, but I try and leave it with somebody I want. Hey, up, Nessie's come around the back of the camera now. She's found the glass, and she wants to come out. And she's on her way out, escaping. But look at that. You can get a really good close-up of her scales on that view. I'm sorry, Gandalf. I didn't realise. And Nessie's escaping. I'll move the camera slowly in a bit just so you can see. But has anyone got any more tips for people going to the Northern Invert Show as their first show? Nessie's looking at me all hungry. So da 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 da. No, that's a good point. Don't just go to the show and buy when you first go in. Go in, have a look around, go and get a coffee, then go around and have another look around at the show. Here's another one. Live the real world, Steve. We're talking to Gandalf now. She's going to the Northern Invert Show, and that's her first ever show. So we're trying to give her a few tips on to what to expect and any little bits and bobs. JP Pets has turned around and said, go in, go have a look around, go and have a coffee, then go and buy stuff, just so you get the feel of the place. I've turned around and said, leave your bank card at home. Have you got any tips you can pass on? You've been to a fair few shows. Nessie has spotted herself on the camera now and she's going mental. Bear with me, guys. I'm going to move the camera. Ah. She's all over the tables. Ah. Oh, sorry, Nessie. Can I put you back in, please, girl? There we go, guys. She's escaped. Ooh. I'm still waiting for my cable to come free here. You don't have to just look around the show just once. You can go around it, have a good look, and then go around it a few more times. That's a good point. Only get stuff that you've got set up ready. So basically go there to buy what you want to buy. Make sure you're ready to bring them home and rehouse them straight away so they're not left stressed and stuff like that. That's actually quite a good tip, to be honest. I'm lucky because I've got 1,000,001 bits and bobs. I can make setups dead easy and dead quick. Nessie, can I have my cable back, please? Have you ever seen a Royal Python that's this mobile? Huh. She's going down for the Jaffa Cakes. All hail Jaffa Cakes! Right, guys, if you're in this stream, can you all do us a favour, go over and hit the thumbs up button? No doubt Steve will hit the thumbs down. Come on, Nessie, let's get you back in, girl. Let's untangle you. There you are, matey. Thermostat's just knocked off the light. Let's see if I can get this back in nicely. Guys, can you all go over and hit the thumbs up button if you are? Daily dose of ASMR. There's a little bit for you. Hey JP, how's it going, mate? Trying to set the camera back up to where it was is going to be an absolute nightmare, but let's go for it. We're just out here for all the people that have just come in. We're talking about first-time tips tips for people going to invert shows and reptile shows for the very first time. There's loads of people going to the Northern Invert Show for their first time. Has anyone got any tips to pass on? We've heard tips as in, I've said leave your bank card at home, live the real world, as said only buy stuff that you've got setups ready for. A few others have said a few other bits and bobs. Has anybody got any input they'd like to put in with that one? I'm going to move Nessie out of her enclosure because she is extremely active at the minute. And she can go for a stretch in the sun. Come on, girl. No, you can't go up there, but I'll put you down on the carpet. Let's see if you can find your way to the sun. I've still got a video coming out tonight, or I would imagine so anyway. This is just a little bonus feature. See who's around, that sort of stuff. So come on. I love the fact she's that tame. She's a 9-year-old royal python. She's that tame. Well, she's not balled up like most royal pythons are. I won't be selling at the show. I'm going there strictly for the social. I wonder, is GP Exotics? Are you coming to the? Are you coming up to the Northern Show, George? What sounds are we on about? Actually, I know what sounds. Oh, is that a bit better, guys? You probably find that I was on an external microphone because the camera was in an enclosure. You could probably find the cable was just rubbing on me and it was just making a few sounds. That was all. Have a good day, TJ. I'm not getting a table at the Northern Show. I'm possibly going to be spending a few hours on a table helping out a friend. But that's possibly about it with the Northern Show. You can't get away from me that easy, Ness. Oops. There you are, girl. So look at that. You can stroke her, you can pet her, you can do everything with her and she doesn't ball up. Oh. So is anybody else going up to the Northern Show, or has anybody got any other shows they're booked to go to this year? I'll be going to Doncaster. I don't know which one. I'll only be doing one. I always thought Z was Spider-Woman. You've got to convince her to go then. If your mum's not too sure whether she's going to take you, just go. Pester her. How far is it from MC Exotics up to Doncaster? I can't imagine it being too far. I'll probably be doing the June one because it's normally the busiest and they've got the best stock. Plus, a lot of CB 18 babies, CB 19 babies will be coming into the June show as well. No, it's only an hour. I thought it was a bit closer than an hour away from you, Mac. You did think it was a lot closer than that, to be fair. I mean, it's Doncaster's what, 2 hours from me, hour and 45 minutes from me, but the Northern show is only an hour and 20 minutes. Have you already booked a table at Doncaster? Because I know they're pretty much sold out. I don't know which show they're sold out for, possibly April's, but have a look. Let us know. See you later, JP Pets. Nice to catch up, mate. Tell you what, I might be doing. I might go down to the BTS show. Has anyone got any information on the BTS? Because I've not really looked into it too much because it's never really been one I'd like to go to until recently. BTS is the British Tarantula show, I think. I'm not entirely sure where it is either. I think it's Yeovil or Bristol, isn't it? Oh no, that's some footage. And you're going under the sofa? Not today, mate. Oh, the British Tarantula show's in Halifax, is it? Didn't know that. What is it you'll be having on your table, Steve? Would it be your normal sort of your bioactive and your live food? That's did quite well with other people up there last year. And at Seas, there was loads of bioactive stuff at Seas. The one that I did see sell extremely well at Seas was the Lotus Pods and the big nutshells. They're only going for like 50p or a pound each sort of thing, but they really did sell well. They were on the table for about 20 minutes and then they were gone. Oh, she's gone. Ah, how you going? You can't use my butt crack as a hide. But do you want to go back into your hide? Because I'll put you back in if you want, girl. It'll be nice to see a lot more captive bred inverts around, to be honest. There's only a couple of companies that I know that actually do captive bred inverts that are reliable anyway. It'd be nice to see a lot more inverts around like that. Ooh. But I'm expecting there's quite a few companies doing the same thing lately. So I am expecting the price of inverts to shoot up soon because let's face it, a captive bred invert, to me, personal opinion, is worth a lot more than a wild caught. There's that many wild caughts out there, but people don't even know about. Oh, she's tickling under my feet again. See you later, Daily Dose of AS. I'm never going to say your name correct.
ASMR. She's trying to be a carpet python or a green tree python now. Look at that, she really is. Let's put my finger there to give her a hand, because royals can be a bit dozy. Oh, I'm curious. Z, is the name of your channel Z now, or Z's Tees, or is it still Spider Woman? Because I've recorded a video. Oh, ah! Come back out from behind there, you dozy hard get. Yeah, sorry Z. I've recorded an unboxing video from the mystery box that I won from you, and it says I got it from the Spider Woman a few times. Do you re-record it and use your new channel name? There's a lot of people out there with inverts at the minute that say they are captive bred. And to be honest, I'll be totally honest, I don't trust any of them. I don't believe they are captive bred until I've known them for a while and I can trust them and stuff like that. There's a couple of companies out there that I've seen their breeding projects. I've seen the mums with the eggs or the babies, all that sort of stuff. So I am confident that they have got they are captive bred, stuff like that. But I don't really see too much around at the minute. Check her out. She's coming to get you. Dun, dun, dun. I swear to God, she's a broken raw python. She really is. Oh, she's back under my legs. There's the tub I'm going to use for the baby stick insects when they all hatch. I'm round at my partner's house at the moment. That's why I can only really get Nessie out for a play, because all mine are at mine. I was round there earlier doing a bit more footage and stuff like that, but I've got to come round here, pick her up from work. So now, Nessie, go away. I've personally, I've bred a scorpion. I've had babies off it. Now, I'm not confident that the adult scorpion, it was a Asian forest. Now, I'm not confident that that was a captive bred or captive farmed or anything. I'm putting it down to being a wild caught mum. And in all fairness, I didn't breed it, to be fair. It was, I got it as a pet and it gave birth while it was in my care. She had seven healthy babies, and they've all come off her back and all that sort of stuff. But here's the one I don't understand. Let's put her back in. With the likes of monitor lizards. Oh, no. Sorry guys, I'll get back to you in a second. Yeah, with the likes of monitor lizards, if you get wild caught parents and they breed, then the babies are not called captive bred, even though they were captive. They were born in captivity and bred in captivity. They've been called captive farmed. Also, if the eggs get pulled from the wild, if she wants to come back out, if the eggs get pulled in from the wild and then get hatched in captivity, they're also called captive farmed. And it's weird, but yet people can breed wild caught parents on inverts and they all of a sudden call them captive bred babies. Are they not classed as captive farmed? There you go, she's going in for the Jaffas. I wondered how long it'd take for her to do that. So I'm curious, Steve, what scorpions have you got? The ones that I've got are all going to get, well, some of my scorpion babies are getting given away at to some subscribers. That's part of the subscriber deal that I'm doing at the moment. She wants a can of Monster and a load of Jaffa cakes. Let it go, let it go. She's proper having a little munch in there. Oh, there she pops out. Look at that iridescence on the tip of her nose. Fresh out of shed, check that out. Tail's about to drop. Right. I'll help her down. There we go. Giant flat rocks, they sound cool. I'm petrified of scorpions. I've got a few. I've just rehoused my Vietnamese forest. Which he's absolutely, well, I assume it's a he. Does anyone know how to sex scorpions? The only way I know the sex of my my Asian forest is simply because it had babies. That's the only reason I know it's a female. But I haven't got a clue on the rest. I suppose that's something I can look into. Can't you tell she's a she? She goes straight between my legs. Typical. There's a possibility. That seems similar to mantids, except mantids have, the females have more segments than the males. I'm planning to pick up a couple of more mantids at the Northern Show. I can't wait. I think they're fascinating creatures. Are you planning on going to any shows this year, Aziz? Aziz Tees. I'm just going to call you Zena. And she's gone round behind me. Oh, there we go then. Petersfield in June. I don't think I've heard of that one. Oh, I swear to God, she's a broken royal. Come on, girl, you can't go under there. Because last time you went under there, I had to take the sofa apart. I know what I'll do with you, though, Gil. Let me put your hide back in your enclosure. Oh. Thermostat probes underneath it, and you can come from behind. See, nice and easy, Gil. Let's drop you back in, if you want to go in, that is, Gil. No? She's gripping hold of the water bowl to pull her body in. It's fascinating how their muscles work. But chances are she'll go straight underneath the hide. I've put the thermostat probe back underneath the hide. There she goes, straight in. Absolutely fascinating. Check that out. I love these aliens, these alien patterns along the side of her. And do you know what? I never really paid too much attention to the normal morphs on any creatures until about a year ago, and I met a lad, James, and he's fascinating. His knowledge on the animals are absolutely amazing. Yeah, his knowledge on normal morphs are absolutely amazing. Normal species, and he did have a very good point. The natural world out there. I mean, you ain't going to get clown ball pythons, you ain't going to get pastels and stuff in the wild. These normals are beautiful enough as they are. But then, if you want colourful thing, go for stuff like bush vipers and whatever, like stuff like that. There's loads of colourful creatures out there that would love the attention that some of the morphs get. Why mess with nature's colourings when nature's colourings are also perfect as they are? I really want to tart this enclosure up, but it's not my enclosure. Oh, check that yawn out. I love morphs as well. I can't turn around and say I don't. I mean, let's face it, I've got a couple of really nice morphs. I've got super pastel yellow bellies. I've got lesser oil pythons. I've got Carl Sunglow boas. They are nice, but I am really starting to get fascinated by mainly the UK native species and then normal morphs. Even today, I went out for a walk looking under rocks and stuff, finding some native centipedes, and I found some absolutely amazing species out there. Loads of European isopods, but I found a bright yellow um, centipede. It got to have been about 5 centimeters long. It was absolutely stunning. I got it all on film and everything, so I'll put that in a video for you to watch within the coming days. I was extremely hungover when I recorded it, so I can't imagine the footage to be absolutely great, which is normally the way with me being hungover. I will say I've only recently started to get into the UK's insects, so to speak. I'm going to try and put the camera down because it's killing my hands holding it. There we go. Yeah, I've only recently started to get into the UK sort of invertebrate reptiles. I say recently, within the past 2 years. And it's really nice going out trying to find them and finding out their natural habitats. It can really get your mind working into what habitats we need to create for our animals, or gives us ideas on how to create stuff for our animals. I've just made a lovely little bioactive tub setup for me Vietnamese forest scorpion. That was a beautiful little setup when it's done. All I've got to do is add a plant in there. But I don't want to add too much in there because I do want to get her a nice enclosure, not just a tub. But until 12 months ago, I didn't even know that we had centipedes in the UK. How bad is that? I've seen millions of millipedes and caterpillars and stuff like that in the UK, but I've never really paid too much attention to centipedes until I got my centipede. And then I've started looking everywhere, and it's amazing how many there is out there. I think on the video I was recording earlier, I saw two species of centipedes and a load of isopods, along with a few other little bits and pieces. I was blown away by the bright yellow one that I found though. Especially with the weather warming up. I mean, I don't know what the weather's like where everybody is. Why can you explain why you think centipedes are nature's nightmares? I don't know any. I don't really know too much information about the UK native ones. I just think they look pretty and they're fascinating to watch. she's getting really nice and tucked up into that hide quite nicely. Steve, can you message me that on Facebook when you get a second? Just because I am dead interested in that, and I would go for a look around and stuff like that. I will say, Steve, you're quite lucky down where you live in sort of Northwest Midlands sort of area. There's loads of green areas that you can go and have a look around. Up here, we're a bit sort of tight for good areas, and plus the climate. It's amazing how the climate changes from down yours to up ours. Seems to always get warmer for longer down yours. Yeah, my scolopendra. Uh, to be honest, my scolopendra is a bit of a fanny. He seems to be scared of everything all the time. He's more skittish than scary. He's never really done any threat poses at me or anything like that. But I still respect him. I still wouldn't handle him. I am quite against handling scorpions and tarantulas and stuff. I don't know. Maybe because I'm just a faggot or a fanny. I don't know. Hiya, Tyler. How's it going? Ooh. Steve, thanks for sending me those two pictures, mate. I'll check them out once the live's finished. It's just popped up anyway, so thanks for that, mate. If anyone has got any other information on the UK native species, where to find them, how all that sort of stuff, feel free to send it to me. I'm more than happy to look into it all. Okay, now it's what time is it actually? Oh God, it's 2:30, and I've probably only just finished my hangover. My hangover's just finished, so I'm okay. I've been curled up on the sofa, been out for a walk, and I'm still dying, to be fair. If you can hear some yapping in the background, the dog seems to be having a dream, and he's yapping around. Sounds funny. Yeah, any other knowledge on any native UK species? I know, Steve, you know quite a bit because you've obviously been out and you've done it all and stuff like that. I'd love to find out more details. They've done a big habitat rebuild in where my son lives in St Helens. They've done a big habitat rebuild, and basically they've just chopped down dangerous trees. And their excuse for doing it was the trees were weak, and they were in the big winds that we've recently had. A load of stuff come down, and they've just chopped it up, made it a bit more animal friendly, so to speak. Which I strongly disagree with, to be fair, because where they've piled all the wood, yes, it makes a good habitat for various native snakes and stuff like that. Um, oh God, yeah, they made good habitat and stuff like that, but they've also destroyed a habitat because where they've laid all the wood on top of the ground, it was also on top of rabbit burrows and badger burrows, and it's caved in all the burrows. So it's win lose sort of situation. It's never nice to see a habitat get destroyed, but they've destroyed birds' habitats in the trees to destroy rabbit burrows and badger burrows. But in return, they've rebuilt habitats for native invertebrates, native snakes and reptiles, and any moles and rats and mice and stuff that want to just scurry around the woods, isopods, all that sort of stuff. They've rebuilt that. So what's everyone's thoughts on that? And ruining a habitat to build another one. I mean, they've got their knowledge in the good spots, as in they want to rebuild habitats and stuff like that. Yeah, my son's school, they've got you've seen them advertised. They're really expensive bug hotels, and it's basically loads of bits of wood and trees and stuff all stacked on top of each other, all different materials of wood and stuff like that. And they've called them bug hotels. Made them look quite pretty. Stuck a little sign on them. My son's got them in his school. He's got quite a few, and he loves going around there looking. To be honest, they seem to be full of spiders and woodlice, but he loves it. Occasionally through the summer, you'll get bees and butterflies and stuff hanging around there. They are quite good, especially for the kids these days, to get them learning into the stuff. I would like to know why you're using automotive vinyl. How are you adding that? They could have relocated the wildlife before doing the building, but I don't think they. Their whole thought was they'll get the. Yep, there you go, cheap rotten wood. That makes a lovely little bug hotel. Um, they can't really relocate the animals if they didn't really put the animals at first to start with. Hey Jennifer, how's it going? We're talking randomly, or more so, I'm ranting around about native animals that you see in the UK. So sort of your woodlice, your European woodlice, your centipedes. I went out for a walk earlier to try and cure my hangover, and we bumped into a load of native centipedes, loads of native woodlice and stuff like that. And but the park that I went for a walk around cut down a load of trees so that they could build. Well, they're all weak trees, and they wanted to cut them down so they didn't fall on anybody through the wind that we've recently had. But their excuse was they're going to put a hotel for animals. So they put all the logs on the floor and arranged them in such a way so that all the little bugs and critters can use and abuse it, really. Have a bit of safe space for them. But in doing so, where they've piled all the wood, it's caved in rabbit warrens and badger burrows. So in their thought of making bug hotels and stuff like that has damaged habitats from the birds in the trees and the rabbits and the badgers in their burrows. And it just didn't sit right with me. I've had too many energy drinks and I'm just rambling on and rambling on. So, Jennifer, now you're. A rabbit's not a native species. That's a new one to me. Mind you, though, I can understand that because they are classed as a pest. They are classed as a pest at some areas. It's the same as native grey squirrels as well. The normal grey squirrel that you see running around your garden and stuff, they're not a native species. They're classed as a pest. But do any of these non-native species ruin our habitats, or are they? Do you know? Like I'm aiming towards the Burmese python, the Burmese python in the Florida Everglades. They're going around killing all the pythons in the Everglades. Now they can live perfectly happy out there, but they're destroying the native population of animals and destroying habitats and stuff like that. So there's now a law in Florida where you've got to go, if you see a python over 4 foot, you've got to kill it. You've got to anaesthetize it there and then. If you, I would assume there's permits and stuff involved in all that. I like the fact with regard back to the squirrels, grey squirrels, they're not a native species. I am aware of that. And the red squirrel is our native species. And I love the fact there are some sanctuaries out there that prominently breed and actively breed the red squirrels back into society. I do like seeing that. It's a bit like the Black Beauty stick insect stories, isn't it? Really? Yeah, population control is needed at times. There's a place near me in Formby. I love it. I love it up there. It's big, massive sand dunes. They've got a big pine area, and that's a repopulation area for the red squirrels. And they really are working hard there. They have been working hard there for a few years. Well, a fair few years now, coming up 10 years. Oh, God, I've drank too much energy drink. Mac, I've noticed you've sent me something on Facebook, so I'll check that out after the stream, mate. But is there any other species that we see dead common that are not native in the UK? I can't wait for Halifax. I'm proper buzzing for it, to be fair. I've arranged to meet up with a fair few friends up there, and it's going to be a lovely little social. Caspool 75, thanks for your comment, mate. Formby is a great place. I'm not a massive. Ever since there used to be a car park, Lifeboat Road car park, and it was hidden away. Nobody really knew about it, but it's a lovely little golden gem that not many people know about. Beautiful beach, great scenery, great wildlife, but it's never really been publicly announced as a place. And then a few years ago, they got a massive grant off the National Lottery to do the place up, and they've put loads of road signs to attract some tourism. In the summer, they charge for parking and all that sort of stuff. You can take your horses for a walk. I absolutely love it there. since they put the signs up, it's got a little bit busier, but nothing massive. Muttjack deer, are they not native? Mind you, I suppose if you want to go down the sort of bigger animals, you can look into the various cows and the cattle and sheep and stuff like that. There's got to be various species of them that are not native, but they're used. We use them, don't we? Ah, occasionally a sheep could escape, repopulate somewhere, all that sort of stuff. There you go. They wanted to reintroduce wolves into the forests. Now that brings us on to another topic. Are there any species in the UK that have been made extinct because people are scared of them or people want them extinct, even if they've got to play a big role in the food chain or in just general life? Have people made them extinct? That's an interesting topic that I can't answer. I don't know of any species that have gone extinct in the UK by man. I suppose there must be a few birds that are getting close to extinction because of man-made stuff, or even invertebrates, animals. Oh, that's an interesting topic. How have we gone from talking about shows to this? So, Jennifer, what is it you'd like to pick up from the shows now that you're going on? Golden eagles to Wales. Do you reckon the Welsh climate can now higher constrictors? Do you think the Welsh climate can handle big eagles and stuff like that now? Because, well, I don't see why it couldn't, but it's definitely a topic to talk about. What we're talking about, for those few people that have recently just come in, we're talking about native species that have been made extinct, or native species that aren't really native, all that sort of stuff. Um, we went from a topic of God, we've talked about so much stuff. It's unbelievable. We went from species that are in your country. I would assume, Rob, you're in the States, aren't you? So this might widen the conversation a little bit. But we're talking about species that are not native to your area or not native to your country. Um, there you go. Then, so what I would be interested to know what your views are on the Florida Everglades with yeah, it was still live, mate. We're rambling on. I've had a few energy drinks now, so I'm constantly talking and talking and talking. Um, what's Rob? What's your views on the Florida Everglades with the Burmese python? Is it just the Burmese python, or is it the raw pythons and just general non-native species? I know we've got a few non-native species in the UK, but there's not a massive effort to get rid of them, to be honest. There's a massive effort to repopulate our older native species, but there's not really an effort to get rid of our non-native species. I have a feeling Nessie is part of JP Pets Nations. She's just as soon as JP popped up and said, "Are we still live?" Nessie popped her head out and went, "You what?" Just your views in general. Do you agree with them? We'll start with the Florida Everglades. Um, do you agree with what they're doing? In the UK, we don't have how do I say it? We don't concentrate on killing off non-native species. We concentrate on reintroducing our own native species more so than killing off the non-native. Well, in the Florida Everglades, they've got obviously the Burmese pythons and stuff like that that are not native, but they've got a massive concentration over killing off the non-native species. Um, do you agree with them killing off the non-native species, or would you prefer them to try and repopulate their own native species? This conversation's getting quite deep. For all the new guys here, if you can hit the thumbs up button, I'd massively appreciate it. But I'm only going to be live for, let's have a look at the time, Another 10 minutes because I've got to go and pick the kids up from school and all that sort of stuff. So in 10 minutes, I'll be coming off live. Nessie's tucked away in her hide. Let's see if I can get a close up. Relocation, that's another topic. Why not catch the animals and relocate the animals? But I would like to know, what has specifically the Burmese python done in the Florida Everglades? Why has it come to this? Why has it come to killing them? Um, what has the Burmese python done in the Everglades? And that's why I like you, James. Always full of proper good knowledge. So they're killing off all your native species. So why not add, like rabbits? If you can add rabbits into the Florida Everglades, they breed like rabbits, hence the name, and they can be controlled by the snakes, and so on and so on. Yeah, it would be hard to relocate them. I could understand them killing the Burmese python, killing off snakes. But what, James? While you're here, do you know of any native species, any non-native species in the UK that are hurting our ecosystem? I'm talking animals only. So I know there's a million and one non-native plants, but I mean animals only. Is there any animals that are non-native that are killing off or doing catastrophic damage to our ecosystem? How are the grey squirrels doing bad by our ecosystem? That's what I would like. I know they're ripping bark off trees because Steve mentioned that earlier. So if this is the case, if they're killing off the reds, which are our native species, why are we not doing as much work to get rid of our non-native grey squirrels? I know there's an awful lot of conservation going out there for our red squirrels. I know we've got a fair bit of work going on for the red squirrels, but why aren't we doing something about grey squirrels? But even at that, you've got people in like family-run parks. I'll revert to a park that I was walking around earlier. You can physically go into the little cafe there and buy squirrel nuts to feed the grey squirrels. Surely, if it's that big of a problem in the UK, why can't we stop that? Oh God, I've gone. There we go. I'll be back in a second, guys. I've just got to go put something on charge. So yeah, is there any non-native species other than what we've discussed? It can't be solved easily, but it can be solved. Is there any? Fair enough then, James. This is, or anybody else who's good with the UK natives. Is there anything I can specifically do to help this situation? That's actually another good point. Non-native species can bring over loads of diseases and parasites that we can't control. We don't have the knowledge to control it because we've never actually had to control it. Minks, is that the same with cormorants as well? I don't think they're native to the UK, but they can absolutely, if a family of cormorants come onto a 5-acre lake, they can clear it out of fish within days. Ah, this is definitely a topic I'm going to have to look into with great deal. I can't even talk now. It's definitely a topic I'm going to have to do a great deal of research into because it is extremely fascinating. What about the smaller species? We've spoke quite a minks were released. Oh, really? That'll take us on to a new topic. Greenpeace. What are people's thoughts on Greenpeace? Because they are a worldwide organisation. There's an awful lot of wallabies are actually around in the UK. I've seen a fair few wild ones, mainly down the sort of the South Downs sort of area, Kent area. And there's loads in captivity up in the UK. There used to be a couple at a local park of mine, but they had a little petting zoo. There was a couple there. There's a little zoo in Burscough, which is a local village, and they've got a couple of them there as well. So wallabies aren't. I wouldn't have said they were invasive, but then again, there you go. Then they got out of a zoo and they bred. So yeah, if that keeps up, if things don't get on top of that, then they'll get even worse and worse and worse, and it'll become like the grey squirrels. Mm. I wonder where wallabies actually originated from and how they got here. Is this just a general thing of nature? This is going to happen, so we should let it happen? Control it as and when it comes? Or is this just the general way of life? Animals go extinct by other animals. Like the red squirrels are going extinct by the grey squirrels. Is that just the way of life and it should just be left? Well, at least they've released them. But again, if they're not native species, you end up with the same problem that started with. This conversation's got far too deep. Right, MC said we're going to have orangutans swinging in the back garden soon. Is there any smaller animals that are not native that will cause catastrophic change in the ecosystems? I'm talking along the lines of bugs, parasites, anything like that. That's another topic that I wouldn't mind properly going into detail with. Right, guys, we are coming. Yeah, caterpillars. I bet you there is a few non-native species of caterpillar actually, but there used to be an awful lot of caterpillars around when I was a child. You don't tend to see too many these days. But we're coming towards the end of the live stream now, guys. So I'm going to finish it off here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. And I'll be having my other video out possibly tonight if I can get it edited in time. Right, guys, thanks a lot, and I shall see you all soon. Hopefully, I'll see a few of you guys at Halifax.